Bienvenido, mi gente. Estamos aquí de nuevo en otra semana de Business en Chanclas. La semana pasada hablamos de YouTube. La semana pasada estábamos hablando con gente que se dedica a trabajar en las redes sociales. Pero hoy te traigo un hombre que se dedica a trabajar en la vida real. Que se dedica a trabajar con gente...
Bueno, eso es la vida real. Vamos a verlo durante el podcast, ¿eh?
Que se dedica a trabajar con gente que te sorprendería. Y hace tiempo que quería invitarlo, porque el hombre de verdad que sabe mucho acerca de real estate, pero en una perspectiva diferente. Así que quiero darle la bienvenida hoy a Brandon Angel, que está con nosotros aquí. Brandon, gracias por tomarte el tiempo.
No, muchísimas gracias por todo. And I told you before, I'll do a little bit of Spanglish today. My business has become so much around not speaking Spanish, and it kills me sometimes because I feel bad. Articulating myself in English and in Spanish, they sometimes cross over, and you switch to one side, and it's been hard English now so far. Y no está fácil, because sometimes you want to switch it up, and you have your client base.
Right.
I forget.
Well, ¿qué pasa? Brandon es cubano. Tú eres cubano. So, es en español. Hoy vamos a hablar en español 100%.
Suelta el inglés, déjalo botado en la gaveta y vamos a hablar.
So, LUDWIN, ¿cómo tú estás hoy? Bienvenido también.
Bien. Gracias por invitarme al podcast. Tú sabes, como siempre, estar aquí contigo es un placer.
Brandon, queremos hablar contigo. Primero que todo, queremos que nos digas un poquito. Para la gente que no conoce, yo y Brandon nos conocemos hace tiempo. Yo y Brandon fuimos a la misma high school, a la misma escuela.
Qué peligro.
Y trabajamos. Tuve el honor de trabajar con Brandon en un restaurante limpiando mesas en 2015 por ahí, ¿no?
Sí.
Entonces, 2015, sí, estábamos limpiando mesas a 3 pesos me pagaban la hora. It was beautiful. Uno aprende mucho en el servicio de los restaurantes, de la industria. Y Brandon estaba ahí conmigo limpiando mesas igual. Y mira dónde estamos ahora. So, yo quiero que me expliques un poquito. Háblame de ti, háblame de lo que tú haces y háblame de cómo llegaste a esto de real estate.
Can I respond in English? Un poco
Seguro.
en inglés
En español, inglés, mézclalo.
Listo. So, working in Son Cubano, you get to deal with the nicest people. But also, the good thing about a restaurant, you also get to deal with the worst people. So it's a very hard reality check. Y eso fue súper fácil to find out how well people are going to do with you, how they're going to behave with you. You could tell right off the bat.
Claro.
That's why as soon as you would start serving a table, for example, I used to get everybody alcohol. Vamos a tomar algo. Vamos a empezar ahí. It breaks the ice. It makes everything nice and easy and makes sure that everybody's nice and comfortable. Y después they start opening up a little bit, and now if it's a bad table, it's a bad table. But that was the easiest introduction to business. That was the easiest introduction to money making. That was the easiest introduction to deal with people.
Bueno, uno aprende a trabajar mucho con la gente en los restaurantes porque, oye, en los restaurantes uno pasa un trabajo del carajo.
Ay, eso sí.
Y sobre todo en Son Cubanos. Y sobre todo en Son Cubanos que todo el mundo va a especular de cierta manera, ¿no?
Sí, porque no es un restaurante que sea barato, por decirlo así.
Sí, es un restaurante un poco más caro de los restaurantes del área. Bueno, un poco más caro no, bastante caro.
Tírate por allá.
Yeah.
Now, it got more expensive.
It's pricey. Y yo te voy a ser sincero, a mí personalmente, I don't know. It's just a good place, I guess, to go. It has a nice view. Pero uno hay veces que yo creo que por eso es que la gente se lleva la idea incorrecta. Hay veces que uno dice, bueno, la gente que tiene dinero, todos son unos come mierda porque van a Son Cubanos y me tratan mal. And not really. Hay veces que la realidad es que uno no sabe cuánto dinero tiene la gente y hay gente que va a hacer un mierda contigo, no importa qué tan bien tú los trates. Pero lo bueno, a mí me gusta lo que tú dices porque trabajar en la industria del servicio te da una idea de how to deal with people. Y yo creo que eso se aplica en todos lados.
Después que saliste de Son Cubano, ¿qué fue lo que hiciste? ¿Te metiste en real estate de una o hiciste otra cosa?
That was right in real estate. So let's start right from the beginning. I started working at 15 years old, and I was a lifeguard. Now, you can't really say that because as a lifeguard, you couldn't really get licensed and whatnot. I didn't have a license. But it was only 1 year.
In what place? West New York?
I'm not going to tell you where. So when I started working as a lifeguard, it was like a family friend. We knew who he was, and he was like, "Mira, if somebody drowns, can you get him out of the water?" All the pools were luxury pools, so they were only 4 to 5 feet. They weren't full 6 to 8 to 10 feet. Nah.
Right, you don't even need to like be Michael Phelps or
No,
nothing.
I was gonna be like, yeah, take him out of the pool, and that's it. He's like, as long as no one swallows too much water, estamos bien. Oh, perfect. So I started working there. But I knew it was only going to be for 1 year because if I go past 1 year, I have to get licensed. And getting a lifeguard license is not the easiest thing. So I was like, be that. So I'm like,
No, they do a lot of training though.
It's a lot.
Tienes
It's a lot.
que coger, ¿cómo se llama? Primeros auxilios y todas esas cosas.
So I was like, listen, I can pull people out of the pool. Is that fine? I said, yeah, of course. Work 1 year, then next year get licensed. I had no intentions of being there past 1 year. So I worked there for 1 year. I'll tell you what, that taught me another valuable lesson. If you're sitting there doing nothing, time drags on and you start to realize like, wow, I'm doing nothing with myself. Because working in business for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, it's not fácil. Feels easy. It feels like you're doing something and working towards your own income, and it feels satisfying. Working in a pool for 4 hours felt like 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how many books can you read? I would play with my phone, and it wasn't like TikTok was a big thing. It was a thing at all. I think Vine was just starting out. How many 6-second videos can you watch? Estaba viendo loco. Sentado ahí for 4 hours. Oh. So I left. After that 1 year, I went to Acme, and I was a cashier.
Cashier in Acme.
I'll tell you what, the cashier job was kind of fun because when it was busy, the 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours would go by fast.
I was a cashier at Walmart. I can tell you, it was crazy.
Yeah, you're one of
Pero
the
en
three
Walmart,
cashiers.
you need to know a little bit of wrestling. Tienes que saber, si tú vas a ser cajero en Walmart, tienes que saber cómo fajarte, tienes que saber, primeros auxilios, a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I think they require at least that you are blue belt. Si tú no eres un blue belt in jiu-jitsu, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Especially in a Walmart de NOMBRE.
Oh, you know. I won't go.
Bro, yo estuve
I won't go
yo
to
estuve ahí 3 años. Yo odio, para la gente que me conocen, que no me conocen esta parte de mí, yo odio ir al supermercado. I just hate going to the supermarket.
Yo no creo que a nadie le guste ir al supermercado, déjame decirte.
Ah, mentira.
No, hay gente que le gusta, brother.
Yo, en Whole Foods,
Le encanta ir al
¿Te
supermercado.
gusta?
todo el día.
¿De
I
verdad?
go once a day.
Bro,
I
pero
cook.
¿qué es lo que pasa? Pues si tú no sabías, y disculpa, Brandon es famoso, no for real estate. Brandon es famoso for cooking,
Really?
por cocinar. El hombre va al supermercado, compra cosas a la cocina
Y las pone en
y hace
internet.
videos. Y el tipo cocina.
So, tú eres famoso. Déjame poner esto.
Espérate un momento.
Sí. Tú eres famoso en internet por cocinar.
Sí,
Pero tu profesión es real estate.
claro.
¿Cómo se mastica eso?
Papi, you need something that creates balance.
Ok.
Something that disconnects you from todo el negocio,
I like
all
that.
the calls. Find something you like. I like cooking. I enjoy it. I get super tranquilo in the house. I make my own fresh pasta. I cook my fish, my steak. I make different sauces, different dishes. Get creative. You start putting so much attention towards something you actually like.
Y de paso pones a la mujer feliz porque un hombre que cocine a todas las mujeres le gusta.
My wife.
See, I don't agree with that.
No?
Because I try to cook and mi mujer me ha dicho otra vez que por favor,
Sí,
I
porque
shouldn't,
you don't
I
know how
shouldn't
to
be
cook.
trying that shit. Sí, cada vez que digo, mami, voy a cocinar, yo, no, papi, yo voy a parar.
Gracias. Vamos a tener.
Bro, I was offended the other day. Le dije al suegro mío, oye, voy a hacer pizzas like I did the other day. He was like, nah, what about it? We'll order. Like, what you mean?
No,
El domino está mejor.
I was like, what? So you don't like my pizzas? They're like, nah, es para que no te esfuerces. But I think I got the memo. So you gotta kind of know, like, lo mismo tienes que tener, porque I know you don't do this professionally, but you're very talented for that. ¿Sabes lo que a mí me gusta de Brandon? Que Brandon habla inglés most of the times. La mayoría de las veces Brandon habla inglés, pero cuando habla español, suena cubano.
No, eso
Very
no es
Cuban.
But that's
So-
good. It's good.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
It's tough.
It's tough.
No, mira. My girlfriend's from Colombia, right? So I go over there. And now my best friend's also Colombian, so imagina. Sometimes it comes out.
Colombianos.
Oh, vamos para acá. I've never said that.
¿Y
I've
qué
never
tú
said
dices?
that.
¿Qué tú dices?
No, por aquí.
Por aquí.
Es por
claro.
aquí. Pero en mi casa no. Mi amor, ¿sabes qué? And I'm like, I know, olvídate. I had to stop myself because it just comes out by mistake. So when I was growing up, I spoke English in the house too. The only person I ever spoke Spanish with was my grandparents. Con mi abuela nada más. So I never had to practice. And my mom always tried to get me to speak Spanish, but it didn't.
Didn't work out.
It didn't. And then working in Son Cubano.
Sí, pero tú entiendes español perfecto.
Oh,
tú lo que no lo
100%.
hablas. Tú lo que no lo hablas 100%. Pero
Exacto.
Brandon, déjame hacerte una pregunta. So, ¿tú naciste acá en dónde? ¿West New York?
West New York.
West New York. So, tú eres natural de West New York. Y te criaste ahí con tus padres. Déjame hacerte una pregunta. Ahora hablando un poquito más de real estate.
Yeah.
Cuando empiezas en esto de real estate, right? Cuéntame de tus primeras experiencias. Like, ¿para qué compañía comenzaste a trabajar? How did you got yourself introduced to like your first deals and things like that?
Yeah. Let me start right from the beginning of how I even got into real estate to begin with. So, leaving the restaurant, I was going to school at Rutgers, Newark,
Right.
and I was also working in the restaurant on the weekends. So while I was doing that, my dad has this bright idea. My father gets into construction because he used to do alarms and security business, audio visual stuff. He can connect anything. The guy's a genius with that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So now he gets into construction because he has all the licenses. He has an electrician license, the plumbing license. He's dealt with all the sheetrocking and contractors. And if you hold enough license consecutively,
Just makes sense, right?
you can get into the construction business. You can become a builder. So he gets a project with somebody he knew, and he says, listen, do you guys need a construction manager? That's not even the right word to use for it. I was a glorified babysitter. But the developer said,
Glorified baby.
that's exactly what it is. No, bro, you get there at 5 a.m., make sure no one starts drinking at 6, and that's fine. You're okay. Just make sure they're on the construction site, and after 4 o'clock, you go buy them a case of beer. Yeah, after 4, yeah.
No, si no compras la cerveza en la construcción, el proyecto no
No
avanza.
funciona, no tiene...
If you
Es como no echarle
promise,
sal a la comida.
Bobby, if you promise a 6-pack, they'll be there at 5 a.m. on the dot, no matter what. They'll be there.
That's crazy.
It's incentive. It's a business.
Yeah.
So now, my dad has this bright idea with this developer. The developer says, you know what? Yeah, we'll pay you. Like, that position's like $70,000.
Shit.
Mr. Bright Idea. I'm like, oh, claro, sign me up.
Bro, by that time, you've never seen that amount of money.
I couldn't even fathom the amount. They said 70,000. I said, where do I sign? Ahora mismo me voy.
¿A quién tengo que mandar?
So I said, let's do it. What it required was dropping out of school for a semester. My mom hated the idea.
¿Y qué estabas estudiando al momento?
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice. Okay.
I wanted to be a lawyer.
Me too.
Ya, aquí tienes...
Me too.
Aquí tienes 3. Hicieron lo mismo.
3 que estudiaron lo mismo. Todo el mundo quería ser abogado. Él iba a ser abogado, yo iba a ser abogado.
To be here, hablamos
Aquella
de-
allá también. Tú también, Janelia, ¿no? Tú también ibas a ser
ella
abogado.
es psicóloga.
4. Oh.
No, ella es psicóloga. Pero
Oh,
Tell us what's
psychology.
wrong.
tú terminaste en real estate, yo terminé en marketing y él terminó en crédito.
So, that didn't work out.
Clearly.
No, bro, a ver, yo te voy a ser sincero. Es lo que le pasa. Yo estoy seguro que es lo que le pasa a Brandon. Yo empecé, ok, voy a ser abogado. Me gradué. I did political science and law. Went to work for a judge in court.
Yep.
Y cuando vi la vida que
Lifestyle,
tenían los
yeah.
abogados en la corte, dije, I don't think so. No me parece.
Something similar happened to me. I went to the prosecutor's office in North Bergen. You see all these TV shows, people making a lot of money. Or
Harvey
a lawyer.
Specter with the suits.
Todo. I see this guy with a 3XL suit, a tie that he could fit around his head, and he was not having fun doing what he was doing.
Of course not.
I couldn't imagine. I was sitting there, I was like, fuck this is not for me. I can't do this. I'm sitting in an office, I'm sweating my ass off because the air conditioner stopped working, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, this is all day you do this? He's like, yeah.
You love this?
I was like, how's the enjoyment level? Where are you at right now?
Below zero.
He was like, I'm like, well, Papi, what does that mean? He's like, I get to have fun. I said, me voy. As soon as you said that, I get to have fun. No. I decide when I want to have fun now. Now I'm like, me voy. Let's go on vacation. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go to this restaurant. Let's do that. It's created a freedom that, and this is something funny that everybody that wants to get into business, get into real estate, they see me do these things, or they see you guys having a good time and doing these things and enjoying your own time, respecting your own time. And they say, oh, I want to get into business. You have so much more free time.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't. A 9 to 5 is the easiest thing for some people because
yeah.
it's scheduled. Yeah, you know you get out at 5 and your job ends there. My job does not stop.
Ever.
When my clients are in India or in China and they call me at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning,
You have to
because
pick up the phone.
I'm like, hello? And my girlfriend always worried, who's on the phone? I'm like, cliente. Nine.
Sí, porque estás en otro país y por la noche, a 2 de la mañana.
That
3
was
de la
normal.
mañana.
That's normal. So for me, I'd rather do that than have to be in an office and sit down and do something I don't enjoy. Me picking up the phone at 3 a.m., whatever. That's fine. But I've
Claro.
created this for myself. Now I get to have fun and people get to see all the glorious outcome, but no one cared about the hours getting put in.
Claro que no, y nadie entiende, brother, la cantidad de tiempo que uno pone en estas cosas. Y porque al final del día la gente es de nuevo, también yo creo que es culpa de todos nosotros, porque that's what we put out there, es lo que nosotros publicamos. Ve, es que cada vez que tú, es normal.
Por eso no publico en social media.
Pero es que cada vez que nosotros vamos allá afuera, nos gusta, ¿ves? Es un momento nice que quiero publicar una foto con mi familia. Estoy having fun.
Yep.
Quiero publicar una foto. Entonces, la gente lo que ve es
Momento feliz.
los momentos felices, pero no se dan cuenta de que a las 3 de la mañana estás haciendo consultas. Yo los otros días, yo estoy buscando apartamentos, right? Los otros días, hace 2 días atrás, el día estaba hecho una mierda. Yo cogí y empiezo a llamar realtors allá abajo a ver quién me enseña casas, apartamentos allá abajo. Brother, nadie, eso es otra cosa que yo quiero que tú hables, nadie coge el teléfono. Nadie coge el teléfono. Si tú eres un realtor and you have a listing, I don't know anything about realtors, so that's why I want your opinion. But if you have si tú eres un realtor y no coges el teléfono, you're not doing a very good job. Tú no estás haciendo un buen trabajo. La gente se van así.
I'm going to tell you, most of the realtors suck. I'm telling you that for sure.
Y eso que está diciendo él pasa mucho, porque a mí me ha pasado.
Brother, no cojan el teléfono. El cliente te está cayendo atrás a ti para rentarte la propiedad que tú estás poniendo y tú no estás cogiendo el teléfono.
90% of the business is done by 10% of the realtors. Everybody else está tirando foto, getting one listing for their cousin, their sister's friend, todo eso. These people aren't even in the business and they don't take it seriously.
And showing off en social media.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Pero échate esto, el día estaba frío, eran las 11:30 de la mañana, estaba cayendo granizo. Y yo digo, coño, me hace falta escribirle a Brandon, porque yo sé que Brandon hace esto. Le digo, Brandon, estoy buscando un edificio aquí abajo, ¿tú conoces a alguien que me pueda ayudar? Brandon me dijo, bro, yo te tiro ahora mismo. Pero escucha esto, no habían pasado ni 2 minutos, ya Brandon tenía una lista de listings completo. Me dijo, mira, este es el precio, te mandé la lista. Me la mandó 2 minutos y entonces después le dije, oye, este es el día mío para ver propiedades. ¿Tú crees que me puedes enseñar la propiedad esta ahora mismo? Me dijo, te veo ahí en 15 minutos.
Así como es.
Entonces, si él no hace eso, guess what? Si tú no estás haciendo el trabajo tuyo, adivina qué. Otra gente es gonna do it.
Claro. If you leave the door open, somebody's going to walk through it.
Claro.
Why not me? Why not me? And for the most part, I've done my business and conducted it that way. And that's how I got here. So to draw back a little to the story before, I get on this construction site. I sign out of school. My mom's furious. She gets pissed over dinner. She tells me, "Pa, do you know what you're doing? Sinceramente, do you know what you're doing?" I said, "No, but I got a good feeling." And I did it. Signed out of school. And the problem is I was getting financial aid at the time. So with the financial aid, if you sign out, you can't really qualify again for a spring semester, so you're taking the full year off. But I figured I'm working at Son Cubano. I'm making about $12,000 a year in Son Cubano because I was only working the weekends and some Fridays. The construction business is going to make me $70,000.
That's like 82 already.
That's 82. So now I said, what if I get a real estate license? And when we finish building, I'm going to sell the building out, rent all the apartments or sell the apartments.
I mean, haz la matemática.
I'm at 150, 200. Papi, I'm already half a millionaire at the point. All in my head.
Claro.
I'm still working at Son Cubano with no real estate license. Nah. All I did was sign out of school. Now I'm a dropout after 1 year. And I paid $1,200 to get the real estate license. So now I'm doing all this stuff. I'm like, oh, no, it's 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. Look at the possibilities are endless.
Sí, ya en tu mente ya tú eres millonario. Ya.
No, yeah, I was already.
Es así como funciona.
I was going to buy a Rolex the next day, sin dinero, but I was going to buy it next day. I was like, I already know what I'm going to do. I already know what I'm going to make. So I'm visualizing all these things. I'm working on the construction site. Everything's working perfectly. I got my real estate license, todo listo. I'm about to get on a Son Cubano. My dad takes me to dinner. Papi, we have a problem. ¿Cómo así? What happened? We're no longer working on the project. They're working with another developer.
Oh, man.
My $70,000 is gone.
You keep the 12,000?
My 12,000 still in effect. No, now I'm at 10.5 because I bought the real estate license. So now I'm less. Now I'm down $1,200, $1,500. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I already signed out of school, so I can't go back.
Right.
So I said, all right. Now I got a real estate license that I have no idea what to do with because now I have no building to sell, no apartments to sell, no clients, ni nada. And I'm working at Son Cubano. So I said, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start interviewing with brokers. One of the restaurant managers tell me, oye, I know Fulanito, he's really good at real estate. This guy's
¿Esto con qué edad era?
I was 17 or 18. No, I was 18. I was 18 at the time. So at this point, I'll meet anybody. You could have saw me and said, I know this guy, I know this guy, I know this realtor. I don't care. Introduce me to somebody. Help me.
Como dicen los cubanos, camina para que te conozcan.
Sí.
Yeah. Así mismo. And I said, you know what? I'll meet whoever. I meet this guy. Had no idea who he was. I'm talking to this guy. He's talking about real estate. I had no idea what I was talking about. Nah. He's like, you want to be in commercial or residential? I'm like, commercial.
I guess.
No, I get it. He's like, how much money? Well, he asked the most dysfunctional questions. Like, how much money you want to make a year? I'm like, I'll make whatever to get into it, but I'm getting the 6 figures one way or another. So does that answer your question? Next thing you know, he says, listen, you could keep in touch. Just go look around to other brokers, which is what I did. But what I did was I started Googling all the questions. I started Googling every single question that you could ask a broker, any question that a broker would ask you. All these things, all the terms that I had no idea what I was talking about, I was using them fluently.
Una pregunta, ¿por qué tienes que buscar el broker? No entendí eso.
See, so with a real estate license, you need to attach it to a broker in order to conduct business.
Okay.
So let's say with a Keller Williams, if I'm Brandon and I work real estate, I'm nobody unless I have a broker's license and I open my own brokerage or I open my own office, or I work under somebody who has a broker's license, which is a brokerage. A Keller Williams, a Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, which is the company I'm with.
Right, and es importante, I want you to talk, yo quiero que hables mucho más en detalle en esto porque hay mucha gente, acuérdate que las personas que nos están viendo son personas que quieren empezar, son emprendedores, personas que quizás quieran empezar en el negocio, yo quiero que ellos entiendan, tú sabes, how does it work.
Claro. No, y para ser sincero, el tema de real estate es un tema caliente.
Caliente,
para la audiencia de nosotros.
As it should be. As it should be. So, getting into real estate is exactly what I'm saying. You need to embody the person that you want to be. You need to Google everything, look up everything. Speak and act as if you're already in the business for years. Because I walked into brokers, they thought I was already an established real estate agent with a book of 100 clients already ready to go. They're like, how long have you been in the business? I was like,
2 weeks.
48 hours.
2 hours.
48 hours. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? They're like, here's the paperwork. Sign with us. We need you. We want you. And obviously, it's not anything crazy to get signed with a broker. It's not like a $10 million deal. They're just like, sign here. You could hang your license. If you do business, great. If you don't,
well,
qué pena. Whatever.
Pero ¿qué ellos te dan? ¿Te dan un salario fijo? ¿Te dan?
Nada. That's the beauty of it, though. Because you're working. I had no money. Good thing I was living with my parents, so I said, whatever. I'm just gonna hit real estate 100%. Yeah, listo. Of course. I have no other choice. What am I gonna do? I can't go back to school. What am I gonna do? Just pick up extra shifts at San Cuauhtémoc? I wasn't gonna stay at the restaurant all day. I said, why not work on myself? So now, I keep in touch with the same guy. I'm giving him a call. I said, every other week I'm calling this guy. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick Keller Williams. I was going to go to Keller Williams in Hoboken. And as we're talking about that, he says, let's do one more meeting before you go. We have a conversation. He shows me his numbers. He met me with his DOS, which is a director of sales, and his lead buyer's agent at the time. He says, we want you. You've kept in touch. You've become a different person in 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks it was. Sign with us. I didn't realize that he was one of the top brokers on the waterfront.
Wow.
He was the biggest swinger down there. I had no idea.
Brother, y Lu, acuérdate, cuando tú tienes un real estate license, tú no puedes vender a no ser que estés con un broker. O que trabajes para alguien que esté trabajando por un broker o que tenga una firma.
Yo quiero entender algo. ¿Sí? ¿Qué te hace diferente a ti como realtor trabajar con un broker como esta persona que es un big fish o uno que es so-so?
You know what? It's what you get what you put into it. Because even if you're with the worst real estate company and worst broker and the name doesn't make any sense, it's whatever, real estate LLC, doesn't matter.
No hace diferencia con el realtor.
No, what it comes down to is the training and coaching. But again, even the broker I'm with now, I got no training. I got no coaching. What I learned was through mentorship. I just went under their wing, saw what they did day to day. If there's somebody making $1 million a year, there's something they're doing that's differentiating themselves, and it's working. So might as well just see what they're doing. You're not reinventing the wheel. None of us have to. See what other people are doing, what the most successful people are doing. So what I encourage if you're getting into real estate, what you need to start with, get a broker that trains 100%, that trains, coaches you, shows you exactly how to get into the business. I have a coaching business myself because of that. There's so many realtors that work in different companies that call me, that I'm the competitor, and they ask, how do I do it? I'll give it away. You're not taking business away from me. Of course. How helpful would the business be if everyone would help each other?
Claro que sí.
How many millionaires can you make? That's one thing.
¿Cuánta gente will actually pick up the phone?
No, y el mercado...
Nadie.
No, yo creo que mientras más gente haya haciendo trabajo mejor, el mercado, especialmente el real estate, se mueve más.
Oh, claro. I love doing business with people that know how to do business. It's the best feeling ever. Things just work. Things just flow. If you're serious about your craft and you really put your hours into it like I do, it's a perfect relationship. It feels like we're married for 2 months.
Mira, I was talking, yo estaba hablando los otros días en uno de los videos míos de TikTok acerca de esto, porque yo tengo, tú sabes, yo tengo el sponsor de este, uno de los sponsors de este podcast es NJCR University, que es una plataforma que yo tengo que enseña a la gente a hacer negocio.
I saw that and I love
Y entonces, thank you. Y entonces la gente dice, bueno, yo quiero aprender este negocio y no quiero aprender nada más. Yo quiero, dime cómo, how to do this, and that's it. Y la gente no se da cuenta que es eso que tú mencionaste. Hay una disciplina allá afuera que es saber cómo hacer negocios. Cuando tú te metes en el mundo de los negocios, sea real estate, sea crédito, sea esto, hay algo que tú aprendes que se llama saber cómo hacer negocios.
Yeah.
Y mientras tú te vuelves mejor sabiendo cómo hacer negocios, te va la relación en todos los negocios, te va mucho mejor. Es increíble porque tú empiezas en real estate y ya tú sabes, tienes una idea de qué cosa de qué cosas son wire transfers, de qué cosa es un escrow account, de qué cosa es un LLC, de qué cosa es comercial, qué cosa. Y aunque tú no seas, aunque el día de mañana tú te vayas para otra cosa, ya tú tienes una idea de cómo se manejan las cosas en el mundo de los negocios. Y eso te hace la vida mucho más simple.
Yo iría al punto más básico todavía. Cómo tratar con las personas. Yo siempre digo que los negocios son la gente. Si tú sabes tratar con la gente, tú tienes un negocio. Y yo creo que la mayoría de la gente que está de afuera y quiere emprender no sabe cómo tratar con la gente. Y tú tienes que empezar por ahí. Y cuando tú empiezas a hacer negocio, empiezas a chocar con muchos tipos de personalidades, empiezas a chocar con muchos tipos de gente, con gente que nunca ha hecho un negocio en su vida y con gente que ha cerrado millones de dólares. Entonces tú empiezas a interactuar con gente que tú nunca has interactuado. Y yo creo que esa es la base. Las technicalidades están muy bien y las vas a ir cogiendo con el tiempo, pero yo creo que la base es aprender a tratar con la gente, y especialmente en un negocio de venta como el tuyo.
That's you hit the nail on the head. You're 100% right. You have to be able to deal with all different types of personalities, put your ego aside, and just learn. If you're going to do any business, get started in any business, whether it's real estate, my business, whether it's marketing, whether it's credit repair, whether it's working at a bank, lo que sea, you have to sit there and learn from the people that are already doing it. And if you can't put your ego aside and you think you're the smartest person in the world, you think that you know more than everybody else, you're not going to get anywhere.
Of course not.
And you know what? I've had an ego. It's happened. It happens
Everyone,
quickly.
yeah.
Because you know what? You make a little money, you start doing well, and you start feeling confident in yourself. Sometimes you have a little arrogance. But then you have to draw back and think, how did I get here? How did I maintain this position? And how do I keep getting better? I have to learn.
Yo tenía un amigo que él es muy exitoso en lo que hace. Y decía, el mejor comunicador es el que sabe callarse cuando tiene que callarse. Porque muchas veces queremos enseñar lo que sabemos y no nos damos cuenta que escuchando. Y tú estabas hablando de eso ahorita, antes de nosotros entramos. Callarse a tiempo es mucho mejor que dar un discurso de 2 horas. Porque todo el mundo quiere contar su historia. Todo el mundo quiere saber, sentirse escuchado. Y si tú sabes escuchar, tú tienes un negocio.
I'll tell you what. Silence is the loudest thing you could do and the most important thing you could do in a conversation if you want it to be productive.
Déjame repetir en eso en español que me gustó. El silencio es la cosa más alta que tú puedes decir. ¿Y qué fue lo otro?
And the most important.
Y la cosa más importante que tú puedes hacer
For it to be productive.
para ser productivo.
Y déjame decirte algo. Lo que Brandon dice es cierto. Mira, cuando uno empieza un negocio y empieza a hacer un poquito de dinero, todo el mundo tiene orgullo y todo el mundo tiene ego. ¿Ok? Es normal. Lo tienes tú, lo tengo yo. Entonces uno llega, y a mí me ha pasado mucho que tú dices, coño, me está yendo bien, estoy haciendo todo este dinero, and then you look around, tú miras al lado de la gente, y dices, nadie está haciendo este dinero que estoy haciendo de la gente al lado mío, right? Y entonces tú empiezas a crecerte. Y entonces yo creo que uno tiene que encontrar el antídoto, ¿me entiendes? A ese, porque es bueno porque te da la confianza, pero al mismo tiempo es malo because you get to be arrogant, te vuelves arrogante un poco. Y entonces, yo personalmente, el antídoto que yo he encontrado es que a ti la mejor manera de controlar el orgullo tuyo y de siempre estar trabajando es darte cuenta que ese talento que tú tienes, ese gift, no es tuyo, es algo que se te dio, something given to you by God, whoever you believe in. ¿Tú me entiendes? It was given to you. Y si tú no lo usas de la manera correcta, properly, y si tú no trabajas en él, and if you don't work hard on it, it can be taken away.
Overnight.
I think that's...
Es interesante porque el otro día yo estaba pensando en eso mismo. Y yo estoy 150% de acuerdo con él. Y lo único que le añadiría sería es que cuando yo me veo en unas posiciones de esas que como que el ego se me está subiendo un chin, yo mismo me digo a mí mismo. Yo mismo me digo a mí mismo.
Mi mismo.
You are not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Porque si tú coges el ego y si te está subiendo, quiere decir que tú no estás acostumbrado a hacer ese tipo de transacciones lo suficientemente seguido para que tu ego se baje.
Yeah.
Porque cuando tú haces por primera vez $1 millón, por ponerte un ejemplo, tú te sientes como que tú estás flotando en el aire. Pero si tú haces $1 millón todos los días, es como si fuera tomar tu café por las mañanas. Es decir, que si tu ego se te está subiendo, es porque tú no estás trabajando lo suficientemente duro para que tu ego se mantenga down.
Random, I know you deal with a lot. Yo sé que tú tratas with a lot of people. Yo sé que tú por mucho tiempo estabas ahí abajo, has vendido propiedades. Has vendido propiedades de muchísimo dinero. Sé que trabajabas en the waterfront, que es una parte donde hay mucha gente con mucho dinero que va y compra. Yo mismo, este pobre infeliz, yo estoy tratando de rentar ahí abajo y me han pedido de todo. Proof of funds, no he podido mandar millones, ¿ves?
¿Cuál es tu nombre? ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Rolando Núñez. No, tú no puedes vivir aquí.
Decline.
He sent me a DM, I blocked him. Olvídate. Not working with you.
Entonces, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Yo quiero que me hagas que me cuentes un poquito, ¿no? Del tipo de gente con el que has lidiado. ¿Cuál ha sido your craziest client? Like, el cliente más loco que tú has lidiado ahí abajo. ¿Cómo ha sido? Y cómo tú lidias con toda esta gente que, por supuesto, tienen mucho más dinero que tú, yo, todo el mundo juntos. ¿Y qué es lo que hace a esta gente diferente? ¿Es más difícil? ¿Es más fácil? Cuéntame un poco.
So, you get to meet a lot of different people in business, a lot. And some of these personalities, it's almost tough to fathom how they even became successful. You're sitting there como, if this guy could do it,
I can do it.
I could do it. I can figure it out. And I've met wild people. So there's always a pattern though with a lot of the people that are hyper successful in their field. What they provide is something different. They all offer something very individual and very unique to themselves. That they're like, yeah, like I'm very good at what I do because I offer this. It's never a secret sauce.
And they know it.
Oh, they know it. Well, you know what? Not everyone knows it, but when they start speaking to you, and again, if you stay quiet enough, they'll tell you everything. You say, wow, that's why you're successful. That's why. It takes somebody not knowing you and somebody outside looking in, a third person view to say, oh, that's exactly why you're killing it. That's exactly why you're doing well. You sit there and some of the patterns, they've worked harder than everybody else. They understand how much sacrifice goes into making this much money. To buy $1 million home, these guys are bringing in what? $250, $300 a year? It's not as much as people think. $300,000 a year, you buy $1 million property. Is it recommended? Probably not, especially with interest rates now. But they offer something. It's something very unique to them where they're saying, yeah, everybody else that does my business, let's say if it's salud, hedge fund analysts. These guys, you talk to them, hedge fund analysts make so much money. Their bonuses could be $300,000 in a month, $400,000, $1 million in a year.
Insane.
It doesn't matter. These guys don't even think about it. But every single one you talk to, oh yeah, well, yesterday I probably clocked in 17 hours. Well, I got home after a 12-hour shift. I opened the computer and I did a little more.
That's crazy.
And
Y uno trabaja 9 horas y llega a la casa. I can't do anything.
Tengo que
no
tomar
puedo hacer
algo.
nada.
I want a whiskey.
Lo más jodido es que te lo dices como si no estuvieran cansados.
No. He's like, yeah, I opened it up and I started getting back to work. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it. It's already autopilot. They do it. Como nada. I wake up at 5 in the morning. Is that for everybody? No. But some of these people, they say, this is what differentiates me. This is the value that I provide. And again, you actually made a really interesting point. They don't know. Some of them don't know they're doing it. It's autopilot, yeah. It's regular day for them. Me, go on a few appointments in a day, get some business done. I hit the gym every single day. I cook for myself. I live a healthier lifestyle. Do I drink? I do drink, unfortunately. And all these things happen almost autopilot. Where I know if you asked me 6 years ago, 5 years ago, would you be doing what you're doing today? I'd probably be like,
No.
oh, I don't have enough time.
Of course.
No tengo tiempo. I was joking with my girlfriend about the times in a day. She's like, oh, babe, you know, like we did the laundry. I didn't have time to fold.
Like what?
I'm like, Amor, what do you mean you don't have time to fold? What do you mean you didn't have time to go to the coffee shop and meet with your clients? We need to become efficient. let's work on the schedule. Me and my girlfriend have productive conversations. We sit there and we start working on a schedule. We start working on how much money comes into the house, how much is going out. Because if we don't have these educated conversations with ourselves and look ourselves in the mirror, we'll never realize anything. Anything. I think it's self-analysis that makes a lot of these guys super successful. They're able to look and
Self-analysis.
yeah, self-assessment.
So, básicamente, mirarte a ti mismo en el espejo y decirte, mira, esto es lo que estoy haciendo y...
This is what's working, this was
Y
not.
es que mira, si tú quieres resultados que estén fuera de lo normal, tú no puedes hacer lo que la gente normal hace. Si tú eres un tipo que quiere ser multimillonario, tú no te puedes levantar todos los días a las 10 de la mañana y irte del trabajo a las 4 de la tarde. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. Algo tú estás haciendo que te va a setear lejos de la gente. ¿Ves? Tú vas a hacer algo diferente. Entonces, la gente, muchas veces, nos sentamos y decimos, coño, trabajé 8 horas, estoy cansado, mañana no voy al gimnasio, whatever, ya estoy haciendo $200,000 al año, I'm killing it. Primero que todo, no you're not. You're not killing it. Hay 1 millón de gente afuera que hace $200,000 al año, pero además de eso, y si tú quieres hacer más, porque it's all about what you want, si tú quieres hacer más, te toca a ti ser diferente. Si la gente que toma por la noche, al otro día no va al gimnasio, you have to. Porque you're the one that wanna be in shape. So, yo me imagino, para mí, at least, es mirarse en el espejo, lo que dice Brando, ver cuáles son las cosas que estás haciendo bien, en tratar de seguir haciendo esas cosas, y cuáles son las cosas que estás haciendo mal y cambiarlas. And that's it. It's just as simple as that.
Mira, voy a quedarme en el punto que estabas hablando y te voy a decir como yo lo miro. Yo lo miro en esta perspectiva. Yo soy mi negocio. Yo represento mis negocios. Entonces, yo tengo que estar trabajando las 24 horas del día y los 7 días de la semana. Yo no miro el trabajo como tengo que hacerlo. ¿Entiendes? Yo miro el trabajo como lo que yo soy. Y él es mi cliente, él te lo puede decir. Él me puede llamar a cualquier hora.
Actually do.
Lo mismo a las 3 de la mañana que a las 6 de la mañana. Si yo no le puedo contestar porque estoy en un meeting o estoy haciendo algo, él siempre va a recibir una llamada mía para atrás. ¿Entiendes? Y al principio era difícil. Porque al principio yo trataba de hacer el schedule, de decir, bueno, 5 días a la semana, pensando como mente de trabajador, este es el trabajo que le voy a dedicar a mi negocio y después de ahí voy a dedicarme a la familia, a esto y lo otro. Y para mí no trabaja así. Para mí el negocio mío siempre está en el schedule. Todos los días, los 7 días a la semana. Y me he dado cuenta que se ha convertido, como tú dices, en autopilot, en automático. Es una cosa que coge un cliente lo mismo un domingo a las 6 de la tarde que un lunes a las 9 de la mañana. Y si un cliente necesita algo un domingo a las 3 de la tarde, lo tiene. Y el equipo que hemos creado, lo hemos creado así. Hay gente que está trabajando en mi negocio los 7 días a la semana, las 24 horas del día. Y yo me he convertido en mi negocio. Y me he dado cuenta que la eficiencia que he podido lograr en 2 años no se compara ni cuando empecé. Yo estaba trabajando al 1% de lo que estoy trabajando ahora. Y produciendo igual, por supuesto.
Claro. You've already figured it out. Obviously, you could all get better, but you already figured it out where you have to put all these hours in. And probably your hour worth today was worth 10, 15, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You put an hour of work now, what it compares to what you were doing before.
Oh, yeah.
Look, when I first started real estate, I was putting in every second of my life into real estate.
Y tú sabes que es algo curioso hablando de eso. Ahora yo siento que trabajo menos que antes.
Me too.
Yeah.
I actually work more hours and I feel like I work less.
Antes yo trabajaba más y ahora siento que trabajo menos, que tengo más tiempo libre.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No. 2 days ago, I sit in the gym. I was in the gym 2 hours. I was in the gym 2 hours. If you would have looked at me when I first started real estate, I didn't go to the gym at all. I couldn't.
Right.
I didn't figure out my schedule.
You didn't have time.
I didn't have time. The worst excuse ever. I'm sitting there and I'm saying, oh, did I just stay here 2 hours? This would have never happened to me before. Because before I thought that every second I needed to be on the phone. Every second I needed to call somebody. There was no schedule in place. There was not. It was controlled chaos. But now I feel I'm producing 3 times as much, 4 times as much as I was producing when I first started. But I'm doing less. I feel like I'm doing way less. I feel like I have time to cook. I can spend an hour cooking and doing something I really enjoy. I can go to the gym. I can go see my family. But it's because there's a lot of things in place. And also leverage. Leverage is another thing that's very underrated in business. I feel like when people speak about business, they usually speak in a different tongue. They tell you, oh, you go up early, do this. They give you recommendations, but they give you on a broad scale. You really want to be hyper successful? Start scheduling your days. Start becoming a self-analyst. Every single thing, you know what? I could have done that better. Have an after action report. That's what they do in the military. Every time something went right or something went wrong, write it down. What's working? What's working? And then from there, you could really start becoming a more successful person, not just in business, but in life. I like seeing my family. I like cooking. I like hanging out with people. I like doing this.
I'll tell you what. Yo hace poco descubrí eso. Porque yo desde la escuela, siempre a mí me ha gustado hacer horarios de los días míos. That's something yo creo que uno de los the main driver factor en el suceso que yo he tenido ahora ha sido que yo desde siempre me ha gustado hacer un horario hour per hour, hora por hora, de lo que yo voy a hacer en el día. Siempre.
You're actually good at it. La
Siempre.
primera vez que yo lo conocí.
Qué enfermedad, because I wasn't good at it.
No, he's very good at it. La primera vez, disculpa que te interrumpa, la primera vez que yo lo conocí, él estaba escribiendo un libro, estaba estudiando fisioterapia. I remember. Y de hecho, el horario que yo sigo ahora lo cogí de la idea que él me dio. Y él ni lo sabe, se está enterando ahora. Y me senté en una mesa ahí en la Universidad de Montclair y me dice, mira, este es mi horario. Y tenía esto con azul, esto con verde, esto con amarillo y esto escrito aquí. Y yo decía, what?
Yo tenía una libreta.
What's going on?
Imposible.
Bro, yo nunca puedo hacer eso.
I've never seen these colors on the schedule.
En college, freshman year. Porque tú tienes que entender, yo entré a la universidad, estaba estudiando. Yo soy el primero que va a la universidad de mi familia. Yo no tenía, tú sabes, yo no tenía nada yo estaba, tengo que hacer esto sí o sí. Tenía un trabajo al mismo tiempo y estaba escribiendo mi primer libro. Right? So, tenía que hacer todas estas cosas. Y tenía el negocio que empecé con LUDWIN. So, trabajo a tiempo completo, universidad a tiempo completo, un libro y un negocio. Entonces, la única manera, hay mucha gente que dice, ¿cómo tú haces todo eso en el día? Organización. Todo el mundo tiene las mismas horas en el día. Olvídate de eso, al final del día, tú puedes dormir 2 horas menos, it's not gonna be healthy for you, y you're not gonna be as productive. So, good luck with that. Pero al final del día, lo que tú tienes, todo el mundo tiene las mismas horas. So, si tú te organizas, tú vas a ser capaz de ser más productivo. Pero lo que tú dijiste lo descubrí hace poquito. Porque yo siempre pensaba, ok, yo pongo las 8 horas, esto es lo que tengo que hacer, esto es lo que tengo que hacer, y lo hacía. Y la batalla es you versus you. So, esta semana, because we're human and we're a mess, tú haces el horario y tú ejecutas ese horario with like 70% accuracy. Right? No 100%, porque somos un desastre y hay veces que no hacemos lo que tenemos que hacer. So, 70% tú haces el horario.
O 70% está bien.
La semana, no. Let me tell you, 70% is a hell of a lot better than 0%.
Yes.
Infinitely better. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que pasa? But then, la semana que viene es 71%. And once you get really good at it, it's 80% and then 89%. You never know, right? Pero ¿qué es lo que pasa? Empecé a mirar el horario mío y decir, al final del día, ok, estas cosas que no estoy haciendo, why I'm not doing them? Y porque hay una razón por la cual tú no estás haciendo estas cosas consistentemente cada semana. Hay algo aquí que te dice, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Pero además de eso, las que estoy haciendo, are they giving you the results that you want? Or should you be doing them in the first place at all? Porque eso es otra cosa. Cuando tienes un negocio, tú empiezas y tú dices, ok, mi negocio es nuevo, I'm gonna call people, call, right? Pero ahora yo soy dueño del negocio y tengo 15 empleados. Should I be calling leads? Probably not. Probably I should hire somebody to do that. And then do something else that other people, that I cannot hire nobody to replace me. Right?
Can I stop?
And then I went like, bah.
Espérate. I need to stop you right there. Business owner I meet. This guy's making $1.2, $1.3 million a year.
Wow.
Good business.
Yeah.
Great business. It's going to stay stuck there. It's not going to go up from there. There's no going up. For that person, the mentality. Está haciendo todo. He has a hand in everything. I do this, I do that, I do this, I call this one, I do that one. I look at the reports for this. I'm like, hold on. I'm not making more money than this guy. So who am I to say? But again, outside looking in.
But in time, it will.
Of course. And I'm looking at him like, Bobby, you need leverage. You need to get somebody else to do this. He's coaching. He's training. He's having morning meetings. He's doing this, doing that. I'm like, dude, what? He thinks he's Tony Robbins. Now he's in there. He's motivating people in the morning. I'm like, hold on. How are you doing all of these things if you really want to scale your business? One thing you need to realize is you're not good at everything.
Of course not.
You're not. And neither am I.
Nobody is.
I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm bad at. You know what I'm good at? I'm good at face-to-face. Sentado aquí, having a conversation with you guys. I'll close business all day if I meet you face to face. If we have one meeting, I'm closing you. We're selling something to you. Or you and I leave very satisfied with our relationship. That's somebody that might want to buy or might want to rent or might want to invest. You'll call me.
Claro.
You become a partner for life if we meet in person. That's what I'm good at. Now,
And your policy is to spend as much time doing that.
that's what
You know
That's
what I mean?
it.
Because that's where the money's at.
I wrote it down. I'm like, meet people, get in front of people, talk to people, go to a coffee shop. Like I say, give cards out. I'm like a magician act. I'm throwing cards at people at this point. Yeah, man, fing, yeah, man, throwing them everywhere. I fan them out because that's what I'm good at. I know. Calls, not so much,
Right.
but I call all day, and I sit there yesterday, 4 hours worth of calls. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I should hire somebody for this.
Yeah.
This is not me. This is not what's getting me business. Have somebody else call, set the meeting, then I'm in person. Look at that. Now I'm saving 4 hours in a day that I'm sitting here calling, doing whatever.
Y está haciendo doble resultado.
That's it. And I feel like I'll make way more doing it. But again, you have to realize and have that self-analysis and say, I'm not good at everything. I got to leverage
Claro.
this out.
Además, there is this misconception que hay mucha gente que cree que because you're doing that, you are the best person doing it. And you'll be surprised how many people are out there that will be better at that than you.
Yeah.
That you can hire for a very cheap rate.
Más-
And they're more motivated than you
Más
to do it.
barato de lo que te pagas a ti.
Yeah, porque ¿qué es lo que pasa? Yo cojo el income mío y lo divido y digo, okay, this is my hourly rate. Yo cobro, no sé, 300 pesos a la hora.
Yep.
Da.
Ya, lo otro está caro.
Papi, las cosas han ido bien, las cosas han ido bien, no te voy a
$300 a la
mentir.
hora.
No,
Anelia,
no,
tenemos
my-
que subirle el precio a Rolando.
No, realistically,
If I get an invoice after this, my boy, I'm not paying anything. I'm not paying a thing.
no, pero yo generalmente, yo estimo, y no tiene nada que ver con mi income, mi gente, no soy millonario. Pero yo estimo el rate mío like a $250 an hour. Entonces, si yo puedo encontrar a alguien que haga lo que sea que yo estoy haciendo, probablemente mejor que yo, o igual que yo, por menos que eso, done. Te contrato porque como hay un video por ahí de cómo es, de Diddy. The hustle is you hire people so you do less shit.
No, es que es la única forma de escalar tu negocio. Si tú eres el que lo hace todo en tu negocio, tú nunca vas a escalar tu negocio. Si tú quieres escalar tu negocio, you need to hire people.
Brother, además que mira, the fastest way to get to $1 million is not necessarily the fastest way to get to $10 million.
Tú me lo puedes decir en español ahora porque no te entiendo.
¿Tú me entiendes? Dímelo ahí en español, Brandon.
The fastest way.
Mira, la manera más rápida de llegar a $1 millón no necesariamente es la manera más rápida de llegar a 10 millones de dólares. Tú puedes meterte en un negocio, hacerlo todo, llegar a $1 millón, and then get stuck there. Y quedarte trabajado ahí
Haciendo
porque
$1 millón
estás
todos los
haciendo
años.
todo. Haciendo $1 millón.
A lo mejor le pasa al amigo tuyo que estaba hablando, al cliente tuyo.
That's
Él
exactly what's gonna happen.
él hace 1.2, pero no sabe cómo hacer 10.4.
Claro.
O no puede hacerlo porque no
Es
ha
imposible.
contratado.
Es imposible unless you start thinking, okay, how do I leverage these things? You're talking about dollar per hour? Think about something else. Dollar per effort. How much effort am I putting in to get my dollar back? How much time am I putting in? You know what? I start thinking about a different metric too. Because obviously it's business, but also personal.
Claro.
And my
Quality of life.
that's it. And I think of this and I say, you know what? This 2-hour meeting is taking away from my time, from my family, from myself. My own spirituality is at risk meeting with you for 2 hours. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Sometimes it is. But you know what? I've learned out of the time I've been in real estate, the time I've been in business and investing and all this, you got to take the good with the bad. You're not always going to make 100% accuracy. You're not always going to shoot 100%. You're not always going to have the best meetings of your life every single day. And that's okay. But if you come to terms with, it's a numbers game, I have to have these meetings.
Claro.
You wanted to hear about a crazy client? Listen to this one. 2 Brazilians. The nicest couple I've ever met. Super sweet people. They're looking at properties for 1.7 on the waterfront.
1.7 mil.
Yep.
Wow.
For a 3-bedroom, which is not going to get you a view. But then they said, if I get a view, what if it's a 2-bedroom?
So, allá abajo, una propiedad generalmente de 3 cuartos, 2 millones. Bueno, 1.7 millones más o menos.
For the most part, yeah. My average price point's about my average price point for investment properties is 6 to 8, 600 to 800,000, and my average price point for my luxury property is about 1.5.
Sí,
1.3.
bueno, generalmente abajo tú no puedes encontrar nada por abajo de $1 millón.
Es
It's
difícil.
really hard.
No, a one bedroom in our luxury building, brand new, 276 units. It's on the west side. You're looking at trees. It's a one bedroom for 900 square feet. That's $750.
Yeah, that's the cheapest you can get. And it's a box. Probably.
A box is a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
I can't even fit my chancletas in there. 2 pairs and I'm moving out.
Sí.
Es imposible. But
¿Y
you
la
know
gente
what?
lo compra?
Oh, claro.
Claro,
All day.
claro.
All day. But you know what? This is why. They buy that so they can walk to the ferry, get to their job in 30 minutes, and have 2 hours extra a day with their family. So it makes sense. Their quality of life is changing by spending an extra $200,000.
So cuéntame, you've been nice. We have been some interviews that have been crazy.
Really? I'm glad this is going well. I like
Yes.
this. We could do this again over a drink. next
Bro,
time.
eso es lo que pasa, que nosotros queremos ver just chilling down, people
Yeah.
down to earth. Hay gente que hay que estar ahí.
Sacando
So,
las
so what do you do? Real estate. Tell me about it. Real estate is nice. But well, it's real estate, you know?
Huh?
I'm like, fuck yeah.
¿Qué tú haces?
Dame algo. Give me something. No.
What is your biggest deal that you ever done? $500,000. $500,000. It was nice. Like, but can you talk to me about your experience? 10 years. Like, fuck.
I'll quit. I'll leave. I'll leave.
Shit.
I'll tell you what. If you cannot talk about your transactions in real estate and have a full animated story, you're not doing real business. You're not doing. I'll tell you about my Brazilians. I meet this couple. Like I said, they were looking on the waterfront. I forgot. I think it was like 1.5, 1.7 for a 3-bedroom. Right? They wanted a view. He was not getting his wife out of New York unless they had a view. That was the big selling point. He says, "Babe, like it's a great place. The commute's even easier."
So they live in New York.
They
Ellos
live
vivían
in
en
New
Nueva York.
Mm-hmm. They live in New York. They lived in New York, and they were looking over here. And the only way she would leave her, I think it was West Village or something, is if she had a view. She's like, "If I have a view, I'll go. That's fine." The only way they were going to get a view if they buy a 2-bedroom or a 2-bedroom plus den. Algo. But that one at 1.7, I'll get you a nice place. I show them around, probably a week, 7, 8 different
No, pero
places.
estamos hablando de un apartamento o una casa.
Apartamento.
Apartamento.
So we're there looking at the apartments, 1.5, 1.7, perfect. We see a couple with a view. This is a span over maybe 5-6 days. I show them maybe 10 places. There's not much inventory, but that's it. They call me and say, "You know what, Brandon? I think we're going to switch the approach a little bit. I think we could actually settle on a house. We could even go up to $2 million for a single family." Oh. I'll get you a house tomorrow. Vamos? Let's do it. But the problem is single family's a lot more inventory, and I'm out there a lot more. I was doing a lot more tours. I was showing them homes up to 2.5 at this point. Their budget was pretty healthy for the most part.
Claro.
And they were talking to my lender and everything. So my lender's telling me, "Brandon, whatever they want to see, I'll
They're
tell you
good to
now.
go.
Just say yes. There's no problem with all it is putting a number on the paper." Okay. Span over probably another week and a half looking at single families because it's a lot more inventory. We're seeing a lot more homes. I'm driving these people around. They had to rent a car because after a while I was like, "Guys, I can't drive you from point A to point B and then drive you back to the ferry and do the whole thing," which it's a full service, so I don't mind. Listen, if you're not willing to take somebody in your car for $2.5 million, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Right.
Come on. You have to sacrifice a little bit of time and a little bit of, yeah, do I want to put my music on in the car and smoke a cigar before in between showings? Yeah. But they're in the car, so yeah, whatever. It's 4 hours in the day. 4 hours minimum, at a minimum, because you're showing around all these places. They call me again. "Brandon, you know, I think we need to reapproach." This is a span over 3 weeks now. "We need to reapproach. I think we're going to buy a secondary home. We're going to buy an apartment in New York. We're going to buy that for about 1.5. And we're going to spend $800,000 in the single family in New Jersey because we want to escape, go back and forth." So now we went from 1.5 to 2.5 to 800,000. 3 different investments. We're looking at condos, apartments, single families, and now we're looking at a secondary home. So I'm like, okay, this is whatever. All right, fine, let's go. Another week goes by. We're looking at all those houses. They call me again. "Brandon, you know, I think we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a cabin. We want a summer and a winter home. Like a ski on, ski off. Show me around Sussex County." Sussex County is an hour and a half away, 2 hours away, depending on what part. I'm like, fuck. I've invested so much time.
What is going on?
I'm selling them something. It
Yeah.
went from condos to single families to investment summer home to summer/winter home. There's 4 different things, 5 different things at this point. Another week goes by. I'm showing them around. To give you a time frame, now we're close to April. They call me again. Brandon, this time around, let's look at the summer homes, but let's also look at vacant land. What if I build my own house?
My God.
I get in the car. This is April 3rd. I'm showing them around. Now the price point for vacant land in Sussex County is $90,000 to $150,000. To put that in perspective, from 1.5 to 150,000, you're knocking off a zero of commission. You're knocking off a zero of a purchase price. Yeah. This dollar per hour is not making any sense. I spend more in gas than what I would make on the commission for vacant land. 100%. So I'm looking, hold on, what's going on? Mind you, the reason I mentioned April 3rd, it's my fucking birthday. I'm showing them land and $200,000 summer homes on my birthday. To make a long story short, they didn't buy anything.
My God.
Not a single thing. I wasted countless days, countless hours, and they didn't buy a thing. I got strung along for 4 weeks. Showing on my birthday, which is something it's not really important to many, but it puts it in perspective that I'll do it any day. Right. I'll sacrifice a dinner. I'll sacrifice taking a flight out to see my family. I'll sacrifice whatever it may be to keep working on my craft and build a sustainable business that I know is going to take care of my family for years.
Bro, and you learn from these experiences. You gotta pay the cost to be the boss.
I love that. It's true.
See what I mean? Mm-hmm. You don't get to be the boss. You don't get to be the heavy baller if you don't pay the cost for it.
No. Sí, tienes que pagarle el precio para poder ser jefe. Sí.
Es así.
It's true.
Porque al final del día, ponte a pensar. Pasó que no compraron nada. Pero ¿y si compraban algo? Además, el punto de la cosa es que it's not even about them. It's about you. Mm-hmm. What are you willing to do to move forward in whatever you're trying to accomplish?
Yo creo que también lo hemos hablado aquí con los otros invitados que hemos tenido, porque hemos tenido real estate, hemos tenido otros vendedores, que cuando tú estás vendiendo algo, y yo creo que cuando estás en negocio siempre estás vendiendo algo, o tú estás vendiendo o te venden a ti, una de las dos. El 80% de la venta es show up. Tienes que estar ahí. Tienes que levantarte por la mañana y estar ahí. Y tienes el 80% de la venta. Si tú no te levantas y no estás ahí, tienes 0% de la venta.
100%.
El otro 20% ya es como tú hablas, como tú te expresas, el producto que tú tienes y otros diferentes factores. Pero el 80% de la venta es levantarte por la mañana, vestirte bien y ir a donde tienes que ir.
That's it.
Bro, pero si yo se lo digo a mis empleados. I got employees that are great at selling. Yo tenía una empleada que la tipa era buenísima vendiendo. Cada vez que esa tipa se ponía en el teléfono, vendía 10 reparaciones de crédito al día. No había manera de que tú hablaras con esa mujer y no vendiera. Pero de un mes me faltaba 15 días. So I'm like, mira, you're great at what you do, pero si tú no vienes, then you're not so great. Okay? If you're not, tú no puedes ser bueno hasta que no estás en la oficina.
¿Sabes qué? Yo creo que Brandon is really good at selling. And I was telling them, I love your body language. Yo creo que that expresses a lot. And that sells a lot. Y te propongo un reto a ti y a ti. Vamos a sentarnos
Challenge.
en una red table. Because I love selling. Me encanta la gente que vende porque yo creo que esa profesión no tiene techo y hay mucho en el medio. Y como que te mantiene vivo. Yo mi carrera la empecé siendo vendedor y creo que tengo mucho respeto para la gente que vende un producto físico. Tenemos a Michelle, que she's great.
Michelle is insane. Selling. Tenemos un mortgage lender. She used to be the vice president of like a super successful company. She's a killer selling.
Pero a mí me encanta también como ella es. Y podemos hacer un red table.
Does it have to be red? Can it be blue?
Oh, brown if you want.
Brown.
O black.
Lo que no puede ser es una mesa redonda. Tiene que ser cuadrada. Yo en mesas redondas no me siento.
If you want a black, I can make you black.
La mesa redonda a mí de Cuba me dejó con... Si es redondo, no, I don't do it. Tiene que ser triangular, cuadrado.
¿Y por qué tiene que ser la de Cuba? ¿Por qué no puede ser la mesa
redonda?
No,
yo no hago mesas redondas. Si es redonda, no voy.
I'll be honest with you. Forget the table. Forget it
no
completely.
Table, una mesita de noche.
Yo quiero sentar así.
Pero no. Porque yo creo que el mayor reto que tiene la gente allá afuera cuando abre cualquier tipo de negocio es la venta. La gente le tiene miedo a sentarse con alguien y decirle, mira, yo quiero esto y te lo estoy vendiendo. La gente le tiene terror. Y tiene como ese estigma de que si yo soy un vendedor o si yo vendo un producto, no soy tan importante o como que, no sé, tienen una opinión negativa sobre las ventas y las formas de vender. Y yo creo que existe tanto en la palabra vender que la gente no entiende su significado. Y el otro día estábamos hablando con Michelle que tenemos que hacer un segundo episodio solamente sobre venta, porque a la gente le encantó el episodio de ella y queremos enfocarlo. Yo quiero que tú vengas y vamos a hacer algo los 4.
Ok, that works for me.
Y vamos a contar las historias que nos ha pasado como vendedores. Porque supongo que tú tengas tus historias.
I'm gonna bring wine. Can I bring wine to that one?
No, es lo que te iba a decir.
I got a good bottle of
Wine,
wine
no,
that I bought in
tequila.
Spain.
Tequila.
You know, tequila. ¿Por qué tequila, papi?
Tequila, porque
¿Tú
eso fue
quieres
lo
que- you want me to get canceled?
Eso fue lo que dijo Michelle.
That's what you
Tenemos,
want me-
Don't give me too much to drink. I'll tell you right now, this episode turns very dark very fast.
pero quiero que hagamos esto wow. Y se lo estamos diciendo a la audiencia. Vamos a hacer esto sin ¿sabes? Sin filtro, caballero. Esto va a ser a duro sin guante, como decimos nosotros los cubanos. Entonces vamos a hablar de venta, las cosas negativas, positivas, las cosas peores que te ha pasado.
Oh, yeah.
Y lo peor que tú le has hecho a un cliente para vender algo.
No, pero es que a mí me gusta la perspectiva de Brandon, porque Brandon ha lidiado con gente que tiene mucho dinero, que compra este tipo de cosas. Y uno desde cierto punto, cuando uno empieza, ¿no? Uno tiene miedo de Me ha pasado a mí cuando trabajaba en los bancos con the high ticket clients. Uno tiene miedo de que I'm not making that much money, so voy a ir a venderle a esta gente. What the fuck am I gonna say? Like these people are gonna see right through me that I don't know, porque uno se limita uno mismo. Sometimes tú tienes esos pensamientos, self-limiting yourself, que te dicen, I'm not enough. Y entonces hay veces que uno se da un propio tiro en el pie porque uno trata de llegar ahí showing up or trying to be someone who you're not. And that doesn't cut it.
Que ves a esa persona muy en una posición de poder sobre ti.
Right.
I'll tell you what. You really want to talk about selling? It's not about a product.
It's not.
If you start talking about selling a product, let's say if I'm selling cups, I'm selling coffee, I'm selling real estate, whatever it is. As soon as you approach that conversation that I have something to sell, yeah, you lost. What you're really selling is yourself. You're working with
That's
me.
true. That's true.
It's not the
100%.
product. I'll sell you anything.
Right.
I'll sell you the watch on my arm right now. Anything. Because you're working with me. That's it. Now, if you start to provide value and say, listen, I also know a lot about the product itself.
It helps to have a good product.
Oh, of course, it definitely does. Me with real estate, I have endless product. I can show you whatever you need. But in the end of the day, do you really want to work with me?
Right.
That's what you're selling. You're selling the product to yourself. If you don't know how to sell yourself, you're never going to get into the sales business to begin with. That's why when I coach my clients and I tell these people, if it's other realtors, for example, they're saying, oh, Brandon, it's like, what about cap rates? What about investment? What about IRR? What about cash on cash?
Like, calm down.
Hold on. Hold on. You're talking like you're Warren Buffett. Espérate. You're getting way ahead of yourself.
I love that.
I don't even want to work with you, let alone whatever you're providing. Talk to me about yourself. Can I get along with you? Because people really only want to work with 2 people. 4 people. I'll give you the first 2. People that they like or people that they want to be like.
Yeah.
That's it.
Give me the other 2.
The other 2 are either the first person or the most consistent.
Yep.
That's it.
That is very true.
Because I could be the first person.
Yeah.
And I call you and you're like, oh,
And that's it.
Brandon, buena gente. That's it.
Yeah. Done.
But now, let's say I'm going against you and you're the most consistent. Estás llamando todo el día.
Todos los días.
Hey, can I take you out now?
Y el
Let's go
primero
for
no
a cup
está
of coffee.
no está cogiendo el
I
teléfono.
don't pick up the phone.
That's it.
I don't pick up the phone.
It's
So
over.
now the first person disappears. But now they revert to the other 2 people. They say, you know what? Do I like this person? Do I want to be like him? For example, what does it mean to be like? Maybe I want to be like you because you're charitable.
Claro.
You enjoy family time. You're a nice guy. You give turkeys away during Thanksgiving, like I said, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if I like the person that you represent, I'm saying, I'd like to be like that. I'll work with you any day of the
Of
week.
course. I like you to be around.
Even if your product's less.
Sure.
Even if you're not the best at what you do, tú me caes bien. I'll work with you. Same thing about a restaurant. Most of the restaurants that I go to consistently, they don't have the best food. They don't have the best drinks.
Pero
They
tiene
don't-
gente que tú le...
But I go and I see the
Se
same
siente bien.
bartender
The king.
con esa cara. I'm like,
Mi hermano, llegaste. Here
Somebody
you are.
comes around the counter, gives me a hug, a handshake.
You
"Oh,
feel home."
I'm, fuck it.
You
Give
feel
me
home.
the cheapest bottle of wine que tú tienes. I don't care. I'll sit there with you all day.
Claro.
Because I feel good. I feel good with you. I feel I'm in good hands.
Yo creo que le ha sacado del estadio. Yo creo que el key número 1 es hacer sentir al otro bien estando contigo.
Brother, ¿tú sabes cuánta gente me llama a mí? Y me dice, brother, yo quiero arreglarme el crédito contigo, quiero hablar contigo. No, porque yo estoy seguro, yo trabajé en un banco donde todo el mundo era credit analyst. Y yo estoy 100% seguro que allá afuera hay 10,000 gente que saben más de crédito que yo. Y, granted, tiene que haber allá afuera en los Estados Unidos una compañía de crédito que tenga mejores servicios. I don't know. El punto de la cosa es que la gente no hace negocio conmigo porque yo soy la agencia de reparación de crédito. La gente hace negocio conmigo porque me dicen, oye, te vi en TikTok, man, hablando de negocio y tú dices las cosas así, así. Yo quiero que tú seas el que me ayude. And that's it.
Yeah.
Bro, y es curioso porque a veces nos ponemos este estigma y esta barrera en la cabeza de que, bueno, para yo cerrar un negocio, yo tengo que estar vestido de traje y corbata, ir a una oficina y cumplir con cierto sistema de pasos o cierto lenguaje. Y yo he estado en lugares, y yo he estado en lugares que tú no te puedes imaginar. Chique, pero no te pongas esa cosa negra tan cerca de la boca.
¿Así? ¿Mejor así?
Yo he estado en lugares que tú no te puedes imaginar y se han cerrado negocios que tú tampoco te puedes imaginar. Y yo me he quedado así, like, ¿fue tan fácil? Eso fue lo que tomó. Dos gentes se conocieron. ¿Qué tú haces? Yo hago esto. Estamos en un lugar que no voy a mencionar aquí el lugar, pero estamos en un lugar que no es adecuado para hacer negocio. Y se conocen. Te llamo el lunes, cerramos esto y el miércoles tienen negocio. Y I'm like, ¿qué pasó aquí? No, este es el lugar menos indicado para hablar de esto.
Yeah.
Pero coincidieron, se conocieron y en 3 días tuvieron un negocio. I'm like, esto es lo que está en.
Brandon, you mentioned something that you have a business that does coaching for other. Talk to me a little more about that, please.
Yeah, so I started 2 things. One was just a coaching program, but I started it in 15 minutes because I figured people need to do it.
Claro.
People need this service. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I opened a Calendly account, which is just you could schedule coaching calls with me. I have 6 different services. You could do 15, 30, 60-minute, or you could do 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute in person. That's it. I simplified it. You want to call me for 15 minutes? Maybe it's just a few questions you want to fire off. That's it. Or if you want to meet 60 minutes in person, you can book that as well. That is just coaching real estate, business, investing. Obviously, if you call me as a realtor and you want to buy a house, it's very different. But if you want to coach and you're in real estate or you really want to understand investing and you want a one-on-one with me, facilito. I wanted to make myself accessible.
Porque quiero que la gente lo vea, porque yo sé que hay mucha gente que van a estar viendo el programa y van a decir, coño, me gusta como Brandon está hablando de esto de los negocios. Quiero aprender más. Y pues bueno, mi gente, Brandon, además de real estate, él tiene, básicamente tú puedes hacer un appointment con él y él te va a dar clases de esto, no clases, pero te va a dar un coaching, o sea, como una hora, depende, puede ser 1 hora, 15 minutos, 30 minutos, en cómo, en esto de real estate, en negocios, en cómo conducirte en toda esta parte profesional. Yo creo que eso tiene un valor increíble. Así que te vamos a dejar el enlace en la biografía de este video. Si tú quieres ponerte en contacto con Brandon, vas a poder hacerlo. Brandon habla mayormente inglés, pero créeme que él tiene maneras de llegar a ti en español también. Y entiende español, como tú te has dado cuenta.
Y el hombre no es tan caro, ¿no?
Pay the cost to be the boss. Entonces... Pero, entonces lo que vamos a hacer es, yo tengo otra más. Cuando vamos a hacer la mesa cuadrada, no redonda, vamos a...
¿Rojo o azul?
Azul.
A él le gusta negro.
¿No me entiendes? Entonces, vamos a invitar a Brandon, vamos a invitar a Michelle. Y Brandon, vamos a dejar un espacio abierto. Si tú quieres invitar a alguien that you know that is really good at sales, tráelo. ¿Tú me entiendes? Tráelo. We'll do it. ¿Tú me entiendes? Nos vamos a sentar. Tenemos que discutir whether we're gonna do wine, whiskey, tequila, something.
Podemos hacerlo todo, ron, whisky, bourbon.
And what we're gonna do is...
No, déjame decirte algo. Esto va a ser una edición especial. Como yo lo tengo en la cabeza, esto va a ser una edición especial.
Special edition?
Sí,
Like
y vamos a hacerlo duro sin guantes. Así que por toda esa gente que está diciendo que nos vieron en calzoncillo el otro día, que no le gustaban las piernas de nosotros, bueno, que no le gustaban las piernas de Rolando.
Papi, I got beautiful legs.
Prepárense para este episodio, porque este episodio va a ser a duro sin guantes. Y vamos a estar contando cosas aquí que ustedes no se imaginan que pasan.
So, I think it's a good idea. I like it. La invitación está abierta. We'll sit down, we'll talk about sales.
¿Tú vas a cerrar aquí o porque la pregunta caliente no se la has hecho todavía?
You wanna go ahead?
Vamos a hacer la pregunta
Te toca
caliente.
a ti, que el de eso pasado lo hice yo.
Brandon, nosotros tenemos un juramento, una cosa que tiene que ser, que es la pregunta caliente. La pregunta caliente se trata en ¿cuánto dinero? Bueno, hay 2 preguntas. Nosotros decimos que es la pregunta caliente, pero somos chismosos, hacemos 2.
Papi, say it, ya.
Sí. La primera es, ¿cuánto hiciste en tu primer año de real estate? Right? Y la segunda es lo más que has hecho en real estate en un año.
As far as Selling volume?
Yes.
Money,
Personal
no.
income? What?
Net money.
Okay.
Oh, the money you make, gross.
Yeah. First year. The first year in real estate, this is an oddball, and I'll tell you why. I got lucky. I stepped in shit. I get into new construction on the waterfront. They were paying 4 or 5% commissions if I closed. But nobody knew how to sell it. You find a niche. People did not know what to do with that property. Me, neither did I. But you look enough, you start listening to what people are doing. It was the easiest thing. They had a sales center y todo. So with that building, I closed a few places in there, maybe even 4 or 5. Those were all 5% commission. So my first year in real estate, I started doing just rentals, and I stepped in shit with the new construction because no one knew how to sell it. So my first year in real estate, I made $96,000 and change.
Wow. First year?
First
That's
year.
insane.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. And then from there, on average,
What do you mean that it doesn't make any sense?
because you have to get lucky with a niche. You have
Yeah.
to find something to specialize in.
In your first
My first year was
La mayoría de la gente
It's
que entra en
not-
real estate hacen $30,000 per año.
no. The
Oh,
first
mano.
year in real estate for most of the people that I see, 20,000,
20,000.
30,000.
30,000, claro.
But now the amount of hours that I put in, unmatched. I was doing 8 rentals a month. I gained 30 pounds, and I just did real estate. That's it. I was not a good person. I was just a good businessman. And even then, it wasn't sustainable. That 96,000 made no sense. Year after that, 96, 160, 205, 220-ish.
Wow.
From there.
I gotta take the
So a
the
quarter
coaching
million
class.
$250,000.
About $250,000. Then if you start looking in the investments that I do from there, then obviously
Right.
it floats a little higher. It goes around 250 now.
Bro, let me tell you, I gotta take the coaching with Brandon. I gotta take the coaching with Brandon because I gotta step my game up. My investing game up is the one I gotta step. Okay, I do make a lot of like active business money.
Yeah.
Investment, not so much, bro.
I'll tell you what. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. One of the main quotes that I got out of that book, it's not about what you make, it's about what you take home.
Yep.
Because you know what? There's all these guys making all this money, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
I know people that made $100,000 that made more money than me. Because what they took home.
100.
And I'll tell you what. I have a friend of mine. Quick story. I won't make it long, I promise. I'll try.
All right, you got it.
This guy, in a very unique business, he makes money on gambling. Not personally. Giving out picks. I didn't know this was a business. The
Okay.
amount of money that he makes. We're having a few drinks. He starts talking. He's like, I'm bringing it out like 250, 300. I was like, well, good job. He's
Good.
like, no, that was last month. But this month it might be 160.
What the fuck? You're like, wait a minute.
My ass went like this. I said, last month?
Shit.
He's like, yeah, dude, we're doing good. He's like, you have a good accountant? I was like, I do. I need to give you him right now. He's like, I'm like, how you doing with taxes? He's like, I haven't gotten into that because it just kind of happened for him.
Right.
And he's an amazing guy, very good friend of mine. I love this guy because he was very honest and open and honest. When people start becoming honest about money, you start really seeing who's around you for a reason, who's going to give you good advice. I love hanging out with people like you guys where you're doing well and you're not looking at me like, oh, he's doing great or he's doing shit, whatever.
Right.
It's more like, que bueno, pa.
Fuck,
Good
qué bueno.
job. I'm glad. I'm happy.
Claro, and you can learn something from it.
I
Porque a lo
think that-
mejor la experiencia tuya es diferente que la mía.
And you can feel the energy, bro.
Yeah.
It's about energy too.
Honestamente, you gotta be tú sabes, crítico, self-criticize yourself a little bit. Y yo mismo, yo me lo siento todo el tiempo. Yo digo, yo siempre estoy tan ocupado con el negocio. Y los negocios van so good. Entonces, I got all these huge amounts of cash flow, pero no tengo tiempo to like invest or to do all these things porque I'm managing. I got 3 businesses, estoy corriendo todo el tiempo. Entonces, it's a hazard porque entonces estoy aprendiendo acerca de real estate and how do I do this to avoid taxes. Porque now I'm getting fucked with taxes.
Time out. Don't ever say
It's
that word
crazy.
again. Don't say that word again.
Taxes?
Avoid. Don't ever say that word again. You're not avoiding anything. If you're watching, IRS, government, we're not avoiding.
They're watching.
We're deferring,
Deferring taxes.
depreciating.
Depreciating.
Use all the words that they feel comfortable with. Porque esta gente, they hear avoid, they're like, got 'em. Audit.
Héctor, la parte de Rolando, córtala. Mándame un video en mensaje y le vamos a hacer chantaje con eso.
Pero lo que me maximizar, no minimizar.
No, maximizar mi retorno.
No, a mí no me vuelven nada. Ain't no way the IRS give me shit.
They're gonna look at you like, Rolando's at a void?
Listen.
Hold on.
Listen. Mira, me he dado cuenta de que ahora como pasa rápido, la mayoría de la gente piensa que en un negocio tú empiezas, ok, hice 10,000, hice 20,000, hice 30,000. No, en mi experiencia no pasa así. Estás 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, boom, 200. So sometimes it happens so fast, pasa tan rápido, que no te da tiempo a aprender las cosas. Like yo tenía un tax bill de $20,000 before I even knew what hit me. I was like, haz dinero, boom, debes $20,000 al IRS.
No.
Sin saber. Entonces, uno no conoce estas cosas, uno no conoce depreciation from properties, uno no conoce nada de eso porque yo vine de un lugar de Cuba donde no tenemos ni tarjetas de débito. Like you pay with chickens.
Tú no tienes ni zapatos que va a tener tarjeta de débito.
So ahora yo me doy cuenta, ok, estoy volviéndome muy bueno en estos negocios, me está entrando el dinero, thank God, right? Pero la parte de inversión, off. La parte de esto es off.
Déjame darte un consejo. Yo tengo un colchón en la casa. Que tú puedes sacar la maleta de dinero, me la puedes traer por la casa y yo te lo guardo.
I wouldn't trust you with a penny. Entonces, it's gonna be good porque la mesa roja, we'll get to talk about it.
Yeah.
Vamos a hablar un poquito acerca de eso porque yo sé que yo sigo mucho el contenido que tú pones y yo veo todos los market updates that you do and I really, really follow you. Y yo sé que tú haces, there have been a few videos. Brandon is very charismatic, so él está en el carro y él hace los videos. And he goes and rants for like 20 minutes. Y hay veces que él hubo un video que he catch my attention. Que dijo, bro, porque it's about doing this with taxes and depreciation. Don't even get me started on this. Because I will blow your mind. And I'm like, I need you to do that.
Yeah.
Me hace falta que vengas y me hables acerca de real estate and taxes.
Tú en ese momento pensaste, please, Brando,
I'm
blow me.
Blow my mind. It's the way it is, you know.
Next episode, me blowing Rolando.
Listen,
No, it was right there. No, por favor.
listen. I don't know, you guys. I'm talking about taxes.
Ay.
Listen.
Y si esto es así, imagínate la mesa cuadrada. La mesa redonda, what the fuck, mesa redonda.
Let me give you a quick 5-second here. These people, I met a guy, very smart guy. I went to school for 1 year. I went to college for 1 year, and that's it. And sometimes I feel like, oh, you know, I'm pretty smart. I'm a fucking monkey. If you put me in front of some of these people, I'm like,
Okay.
damn it, okay. Because you know what? I'm going to say something, I'm going to embarrass myself. These guys are smart. This guy made last year $600,000. How much did he take home? $600,000.
God damn.
Zero in taxes.
How is that possible?
Two ways. Real estate syndication and real estate purchasing with depreciation. It's called bonus depreciation. It's something that the government offers now. There's a little bit, it's not 100% bonus, I think, anymore. There's a certain percentage now. What is bonus depreciation? You put in $200,000, $100,000 into a property. They assume, this is the rules, this is not me. Real estate is a depreciating asset. It's hard to wrap our head around that because you buy a home for $500,000 today, 2 years from now, it might be $550,000, it might be $560,000.
So it appreciates.
It appreciates, but on paper, the property depreciates. That's what the government made the rules. I just play by them.
Nobody complaining about that.
No, but that's it. But everybody gets mad. Tax the rich. Es imposible to tax the rich because they buy real estate.
Tax the rich means we'll tax the poor later.
Tax, you know what tax the rich means? Tax the people that spend 4 years in college, 4 years in grad school, and they're doctors, they're lawyers, the people that really contribute to society.
Yeah.
And those people are paying 50% of their income out.
Lo que significa para mí es, tú eres pobre, la mayoría de la población, que es 95% of the population, so I have to talk to you, porque I need your vote. That's what I mean.
Listen.
That's what it is. They want to make you feel good, but you know what? They're not helping you.
Listen, when the government comes around and tells you, vamos a subir los impuestos, lo que pasa es esto. El rico tiene todos estos taxes, todos estos losses, todos estos loopholes. They just don't pay anything in taxes. Ain't no way it happens. They got debt that is not taxable. And then los pobres, o la clase media, la gente que trabaja, W2 earners, todo ese tipo de gente, que son los que votaron por esto, ¿tú me entiendes? Cogen y te dicen, y tienen que, el gobierno nunca en la vida llega y dice, oh, we couldn't collect all this money. Mentira. They tax the people below them. Y entonces, ¿tú sabes qué es lo que pasa? You end up paying more taxes. Y los que tienen dinero de verdad, si por alguna razón el gobierno encuentra una manera de taxes, se van para otro estado.
Man,
And
bro,
that's it.
¿sabes lo que aprendí
It's
hace mucho
over.
tiempo del gobierno, especialmente los gobiernos capitalistas? Ellos no les importan ni los ricos ni los pobres. A ellos no les importa es recoger dinero y hacerse más poderosos cada día. ¿Qué les importa a los ricos y los
But that's
pobres?
it.
Pero Brandon, so you have a loss on paper.
On paper, everything's a loss. It has to be. For a regular person that makes any commissions, right?
Déjame parar un momentico la conversación.
Income and expenses.
Should we be talking about this? Because this is like a sensitive topic.
This is good.
Think so?
Yes, this is fucking insane.
Well, we can step carefully.
Yeah.
Right? Without speaking definitively, speak to your accountant, speak to your financial advisors. Don't take advice from me 100%. Same thing with you guys. What I say is what I do personally with my own income,
Claro.
and you can take it with a grain of salt.
Sí, esto no es un consejo para nadie, ni que lo hagan. Nada.
100%. Now, what I do recommend is everything that I am mentioning, look into it,
Yep.
see where your money's going.
Do your own research.
How many bridges got built with my taxes? None. How many school systems did they invest in? Nah. I don't know where my money goes. When you start paying taxes, where does it go? Nobody
No
knows.
idea.
It's this endless fund. The IRS was created and taxes were created temporarily, and now it's a permanent thing. Now we're negotiating.
Used to
whether
be
we're paying-
1%.
Yeah. Now we're worried about paying 30% or 40%. How the hell did I get in this negotiation? I didn't make that decision. But now you start using the levers that they allow you to pull. Let's say you buy investment properties, 2 families, 3 families, 4 families, multi-units. The government wants people to purchase these. They want to privatize housing. They want people to own investment properties. They want to rent apartments to other people that are renters. They need those people to have
housing.
somewhere to live. The government cannot subsidize enough housing for people. It doesn't exist. They can't do it. They don't have the funds. They don't have the resource. They don't have the access. They rather just invest in the military, if anything.
Right.
So they're saying, we need you to buy a property. We need you to rent out. That's why we'll give you these tax incentives. We need to privatize housing. And that's what's happening. All these multifamily owners are doing the government a favor.
Of course. And
By
that's why they
renting
get
their
the
apartments out.
tax breaks.
That's why they're saying, listen, we want you to have a business. We want you to invest your money into the economy. We want you to be able to have employees. That's why we'll give you the tax incentives. You're not cheating the system. You're helping.
Yeah.
Tú estás moviendo el sistema.
Es que, bro, the tax code is just a guide where the government tells you what to do with the money, and if you do that, you'll get an incentive, and if you do the opposite, then you'll get taxed.
If the government had their way, right? Let's say
I like that point of view.
Yeah, but that's true.
Let's say if you follow all the rules, but you don't look into the details, and you just broad spectrum do your own taxes on
TurboTax.
Sponsor. Beep tax. So now, let's say you use that site. Start doing your own taxes. You make $100,000 on paper. What are you taking home? Half?
Half, at best.
Maybe. If you don't even,
If you're doing that net.
Let's say you just say I made $100,000 on paper today. The government is going to take nearly half of that. Now let's say if you have expenses and you knock off 30% of that, now you're at $70,000. Now they're going to tax us $70,000. No matter what, you make $100,000 at a bare minimum, you're owing the government 20-something thousand, 25 maybe.
Yeah.
That's what it is. If you make $100,000,
Yeah.
you make $200,000. They want a $45,000 check in the mail.
Yeah.
I've paid less in taxes today than what I paid in taxes when I first started real estate. I didn't know any of the levers to pull, but it's a lot of property. It's property. It's depreciation. It's the bonus depreciation is one thing, but right now I have a straight line depreciation where I get to have a minimum write-off per annum, where I'm taking off money off my taxes, deferring taxes because of depreciation. That's
Right.
it. But if you follow those rules and you really look into the details, yes, your accountant will cost you $1,500 opposed to the $200 you pay beep mortgage or a beep tax, whatever it is.
Déjame hacerte una pregunta.
Sí.
Si tú tuvieras que decirle un consejo, el Brandon de ahora, a ese muchacho que empezó en real estate o que estaba limpiando mesas con Rolando hace 7 años atrás, uno solo, ¿qué le dijera?
What would you say to yourself?
What would you
Multiple bank accounts or multiple ways to put your money. Don't have one savings account and one checking account. Open multiple. Have a tax saving account where you put half of your money away. I would be a lot smarter with money if I was younger, which I'm young now. But if I'm going to talk to my guy 5 years ago, I'm telling you, have your checking, have your savings, have your tax saving account. Have a rainy day fund on the bottom. Have 4 different ones. Organize your life a little better. And also, do the work. It'll pay off. Keep
So,
putting in all the hours.
be smart with money and do the work.
That's it. Be consistent. Show up for yourself. Listen, if I decided to pay you $15 an hour, you're probably going to be there doing the job better than me.
Yep.
How fucking crazy is that? But when I can go out today, I can close $1 million deal. In the mail, I'm getting a $15,000 direct deposit, or I'm getting a check. If I put the hours in. So why not make my 4 hours of phone calls? I don't want your $15 an hour. I don't want your $100 an hour. If I can put in the work myself and put in 4 hours and I get a $15,000 check, I'm going to do that. There was a point when I first started real estate, and when I rented an apartment and I made $1,200, papi, I thought I was rich. I had $1,200 in my hand. You know what that feels like when you have cash in your hand?
Yeah. You never
que
seen
te
it. You're
quema,
like,
te
que te
quema.
quema.
You know how many times I counted that $1,200?
You're like, it feels good.
I'm like, I'll never end. It'll never end counting this. Then I do a renovation on my property. You know how much I paid my contractor in cash? Al momento, $35,000. Mm-hmm.
You're like,
You know what that felt like? No. When I bought my first investment property, I went to the bank. I told the bank, I need a bank certified check. They're like, excuse me? A bank certified check.
please.
They're like, how much?
75,000.
$89,150.
It's gonna be $7. Excuse me. The check is gonna be $7. So excuse me.
Sorry. I would like to see your supervisor. I'm a preferred member.
I'm a preferred member, and I got the tingly card. You know.
Look at my account status. When this card hits the floor, it bounces back twice. I need you to check right now. I just got an $89,000 check.
Shit. Shit.
And they just gave it to me. See, you know how good that felt?
Yeah.
Where I'm able to do that, and I didn't think twice. I'm like, this is. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm making a bet on myself. The safest bet you can make is on yourself.
Oh, yes.
You think I'm gonna bet on anybody else? I'm the only horse in this race. I'd rather put all my money on me.
Me gusta eso. La apuesta más segura que tú puedes hacer es en ti mismo. Brandon, la invitación queda abierta. We're gonna do the table. We're gonna come in. Vamos a quedarnos aquí. Vamos a venir. Vamos a tomarnos unos tragos. Vamos a invitar a Michelle. Trae a alguien que sea monstruo igual que tú. Que quieras invitar.
I love it.
Y vamos a hablar acerca de todo esto. Muchísimas gracias, brother,
Gracias
por estar
a ustedes.
conmigo acá.
Gracias
Ha sido
a ustedes.
increíble. Gracias por tomarte el tiempo. Mi gente, vamos a dejarle en el enlace en la biografía todo el contacto de Brandon. Si quieres aprender de todas estas cosas que me tienen la mente dando vueltas, yo no voy a dormir hoy. Te voy a dejar contacta a Brandon para que puedas tener acceso a todos estos coaching. Mi gente, de nuevo, la mejor inversión que estás haciendo, la más segura, es en ti. So, asegúrate de hacer lo que tienes que hacer.
Y que no te pase lo que a Rolando, que no va a dormir hoy. Si quieres dormir, llama a Brandon. No para dormir con él, sino para pedirle
Mi
para
gente,
pedirle consejo.
se acabó esto. Esto ha sido otro capítulo de Business en Chancla. Nos vemos la próxima semana.
Eso.